Well, thank you so much for joining us here on 6 Plus. I'm Mike Rogers, and here's what's in the news now. New developments in the sexual assault investigation of a former Waco priest. A bond hearing was held Tuesday for Anthony Odiong at the McLennan County Courthouse. His bond reduction request was denied, with prosecutors saying Odiong planned to flee to Nigeria if released. Now, Odiong is going to stay in jail at a $5.5 million bond. During the hearing, prosecutors admitted evidence of DNA showing Odiong is the father of a child as a direct result of sexual assault, and there may be others too. So far, Waco police say they have identified potentially 11 victims. These are people across the world. The defense called in 4 witnesses who testified Odiong was like family to them. Another told the courtroom he would be willing to put $25,000 towards lowering Odiong's bond. 6 News spoke with the law firm representing a few victims in the criminal case.
If you just don't have the information, then you're not informed, and so therefore you can find yourself in the position of advocating for someone who otherwise shouldn't receive your advocacy.
The fact that this is someone's priest who was committing these crimes, and it's very hard to be in that position and to just all of a sudden see them in a completely different light. And that just points to how heinous the situation is.
Waco police are encouraging victims to come forward. You can speak to lead investigator on the case at that number on your screen. And a Temple man is frustrated after hiring a contractor to repair damages from the tornado back in May. Now it's still sitting with unfinished work despite paying for everything up front. 6 News reporter Cindy DeShawn has the story.
The majority of the houses in this area were damaged somehow or other.
This is Temple, back in May from an EF2 tornado. For Paul Lopez, it meant a damaged roof and much more.
Those 2 windows, the screens are torn, it's broken, and it doesn't work. And these are the air conditioning fins, they're bent. The fence is bent, it's broken.
He hired a local contractor based on a neighbor's recommendation at the end of July. The roofing work was completed quickly in August, but that's where the progress stopped.
At the end of November practically, and I still haven't heard anything from them when they did the job the first part of August.
Months later, Paul's home sat with scars of unfinished repairs despite calling and emailing the company.
Communication should be one of the priorities. I really had no choice but to contact you guys.
I contacted the company after speaking with Lopez. The contractor says it was miscommunication on their part, saying they would be out there that weekend, but Lopez said he was never told about the appointment until we called. At this time, 6 News is not naming the company because a spokesperson told us that roof repairs took priority after the tornado and other work can face delays.
I was pleasantly surprised when they finally called, but at the same time, it's pretty obvious to me that they weren't going to do anything up to that point.
We followed up with Lopez, who says work did resume after we reached out.
Somebody did show up.
They repaired parts of the fence and the air conditioner on Saturday and said it would be done Monday. Days have gone by since then, and the work is still incomplete.
If you're going to start a job, you need to start it and finish it.
As Lopez waits for repairs, he's planning to file a formal complaint with the Better Business Bureau. We reach out to the company about an estimated timeline and have not yet heard back. And Texas DPS found more than 200 undocumented immigrants Sunday after they illegally crossed the border into Maverick County. Many of them were unaccompanied children. Here's the video provided by DPS. The translation is on your screen.
¿Qué tantos años tienes? ¿Dos años? ¿No vienes con tu mamá y tu papá? ¿No? ¿Vienes sola? ¿Para dónde vas, mamá? ¿Dónde están? Estados Unidos. Okay.
That was a 2-year-old traveling alone all the way from El Salvador. Lieutenant Chris Olivares says she had a piece of paper with a phone number and a name on it. She told him her parents are already in the U.S. She's one of 60 unaccompanied children in the group, ages 2 to 17 years old. DPS found them traveling with 151 other undocumented immigrants. Officials tell U.S. 6 special interest immigrants were among them. And a federal appeals court has ruled razor wire at the Texas-Mexico border can stay up. Texas sued more than a year ago when border agents began cutting down the wire. Earlier this year, the Supreme Court sided with the Biden administration, but the issue went back to an appeals court, which ruled it's up to the state, not the feds, to handle state border security efforts. And egg prices are once again rising, and some businesses are taking the hit. 6 News reporter Sydney DeShawn spoke to local restaurants to see how it's impacting them.
Across the nation, shoppers may notice something missing on shelves at the grocery store. That's cartons of eggs, and if you're lucky to find some, you'll see they cost a lot more than they did a week or two ago.
They're not just flying around for no reason.
Owner of George's Restaurant in Bar Number 2, Kyle Citrano, says Central Texas is feeling the impact.
We have seen our prices on eggs fluctuate all the way from around $2.43 a dozen, upwards of $4.30 a dozen for the year. So we've seen all over the place.
Meg's Cafe in Temple says their cost of eggs have jumped from 19 cents to 35 cents overnight. It's because of supply and demand issues and recent outbreaks of avian flu.
When a whole chicken provider that has all their eggs loses their whole crop or loses their whole amount of chickens in a thing, that means that they don't have as much to offer, so they're going to have to charge more for what they have. And so you're at the mercy of that as a restaurant.
While George's has been able to navigate these challenges, the owner knows smaller businesses, especially those focused on serving breakfast, may face greater difficulties.
You've got to stay on top of your cost as best as you can. So you've got to continue to look ahead. You've got to be able to forecast. So take advantage of your frontline suppliers. Make sure the people that are doing helping you do your buying are helping you along, giving you the information that you need.
At the end of the day, businesses like George's are staying true to their mission, and that's making the people happy.
The customer, wants their eggs cooked the right way and wants their service to be good, and they want to have a consistent experience. And so that's where, we're in the hospitality industry. We're here to go make people have a great experience, and it's for us to deal with the headaches and the problems in the background.
Reporting for 6 News, I'm Sydney DeShawn.
Rising egg costs could also affect other products such as mayonnaise and pasta. The USDA warns high prices could stick around well into 2025. And as we prepare for some colder weather to come through Central Texas and beyond, ERCOT is assuring the state that its power grids are ready for the winter challenges ahead. ERCOT CEO Pablo Vegas says that the grid will benefit from milder precipitation this season. Between that and additional storage capacity, he is confident that their equipment can weather the winter storms.
Just since March of this year, we've seen over 10,000 megawatts of new power generation come onto the grid. The majority of that has been in solar power, over 6,000 megawatts of new solar. We've seen over 3,000 megawatts of new battery storage.
Now, putting that into perspective, 1 megawatt powers 250 homes in Texas. Vegas says the agency tries to take extra precautions since the 2021 winter storm, which killed hundreds and took out power for millions of people over 2 weeks. Up next, meteorologist Aviana Smith has your Weather 101. Thanks for watching. In the news, I'm Mike Rogers.
Welcome into another episode of Weather Impact 101. Have you all heard of the term atmospheric river? Well, if you have or if you haven't, you're probably asking yourself, what is an atmospheric river? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like, and it is much like an actual river, but it flows in the sky. And this band of water has a lot of moisture, and it could be between at least 200 to 400 miles wide. Again, a very large band of water that is pushing inland, mainly over those mountainous regions. And since they are towards the mountainous regions, it's going to force it upward. So that's why this river flows in the sky. And with that, a lot of moisture, it then cools and condenses and produces a lot of heavy rainfall. And if temperatures are cold enough, the atmospheric river could even produce snow. Now, this atmospheric river could move through very quickly, or it could last for a long time. time. But in that process, it does dump a lot of heavy rainfall, increasing rain chances between about 30 to at least 50% of the entire area. And with heavy rainfall falling at those greater rates, however long the atmospheric river lasts, it could lead to the potential for flooding as well as mudslides. But again, like I mentioned, if it produces snow, then the atmospheric river could even produce some heavy snow in that area that is being affected. Luckily for us here in Central Texas, we don't have to, are not being affected by an atmospheric river. But if you have any questions like what is an atmospheric river or anything else you can think about, all you have to do is email weather@kcentv.com or text the number 254-777-6000. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Weather Impact 101.